But you could do a 32 team tournament, so it'd be half the size of like March Madness, aside from the 4 playing games. But I mean, you'd have half of that, right? Just do like you could do like a 15 game series for each round. Like, and that would.
Oh my
15 game series.
So you have,
I was not expecting that one.
you have like the Marlins at the 32 seed playing the Yankees at the 1 seed. They play a 15 game season, and whoever wins that series, that 15 game series, moves on, and you just do that.
I already like it. We're already putting these 2 new expansion teams above the Marlins.
Yeah, right. Of course.
I don't know. This new rule is I don't hate like you said in the chat, John. I don't really hate it like every part of it, but the part that gets me about it is the top seeds get to pick their opponents. That's just retarded. It's like
I think that's amazing. I mean, what I do like,
Yeah, once you start giving choices to people, it's a little wishy-washy.
yeah.
that's just too gimmicky.
Yeah, like
Trying too hard to like, you know what I mean? Like, oh.
It's like the Yankees would pick their Twins every time. So
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, the Twins will be a 2nd seed, so look at this.
but,
you mean the Tigers?
Tigers, that's right. Tigers, they're going to be the number 6 seed.
You mean the number 7 seed?
7. Oh, that's right. It's 7. That's right.
Number
7.
7.
oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Oh my god.
Tigers and Pirates coming at the number 7 seeds.
That's right.
Shit.
That's right, man. Hey, honestly, look, in all honesty, the Pirates, I mean, they have a more realistic shot than the Tigers. Because
Well,
the National League.
All right, the Tigers are going to have the worst record in baseball. So everybody has a better shot than the Tigers.
They probably will have the worst record in baseball.
They probably will.
They will.
Yeah, they're bad. I don't know, man. The Mariners are pretty freaking bad.
They're not going to be worse
That's
than the
true.
Tigers.
I think the Tigers are still worse. I don't know.
I don't know. Wow, they're bad. They have like nobody. Yeah, so what I was thinking, like, I'm like, if they're gonna see, this is what I don't like about it too, is that they're expanding from 5 to 7 teams. Why don't you like take it little by little?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at how baseball's progressed. Like, they went to a wild card team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why don't you jump up to
Wild
6?
card. Right. Do it to 6 and give the first look. Make it 6 playoff teams. Right. The top 2 teams get a bye, kind of like football.
Right.
And then you make the wild card. See, I like the idea with the wild card round being best out of 3 instead of just 1 game.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have it where now it's a whole round instead of just 2 teams playing each other, yeah. Even the wild card, the 2 teams playing each other, like the 1 game's a little short, but
Yeah.
if we're gonna split it now to that, it's like 2 what's it called? 2 different matchups. Yeah, the 1 game, like you can't be having division teams playing 1 game and getting kicked out.
Right.
So they have to make it at least 3.
I mean, honestly, too, there's the one guy, Chris Bodig. He does Cooperstown Cred. Does a lot of Hall of Fame stuff. I like and retweet his stuff. We like talked before and everything. But he came up with something that like I kind of like too, because he was talking about expansion. And he's like, well, why don't they do it? Expand 2 teams in the major leagues, make it 32 teams, and then this way you have 4 divisions.
Yeah.
And make it like football. 4 divisions of 4 in the American and in the National. Top 2 teams get to bye. And then the 2 division winners play the 5th and,
then
6th.
you do the 6 teams like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just like football does. I have no problem with that. Because it's still less playoff teams than every other sport except football. Well, it would be the same as football, but I mean, it's still less than hockey and basketball.
Let's just do the hockey. Let's do the hockey method.
Yeah,
two
right.
divisions. 2 divisions in each conference.
Yeah.
The top 3 teams in each division, and then the next 2 wild card teams.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started getting into hockey, and like, because that is the weirdest one out of all of them.
Yeah,
like because it's not only like, I mean, basketball's another one where the divisions also just don't even matter, but like growing up with like football and baseball being the main 2 sports I followed.
Yeah.
Like hockey made no sense to me when I first saw that. Like 3 teams are coming out of each division.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like and that's what I mean. Like more than half the league makes the playoffs.
I mean, there's gonna be 4 teams in the NL Central this year that make it. No.
The Tigers.
The Tigers. Pirates. I wonder what the odds in Vegas are of the Tigers and Pirates World Series.
Yo,
I
don't care. I will waste my like $2 on it just to bet down on it. I don't care. I have to do it. I've been saying it so much now that I'm just gonna waste $2 and throw down a bet.
And then all of a sudden, the Tigers and Pirates both start off like 7-0. We're gonna be like, what the fuck? Yes.
Hey, the 7-team playoff helps my odds.
Yeah.
I need to make this bet before they make that happen.
Right.
Because once that happens, those odds are going up.
Yeah. Tigers, Matt Boyd, Cy Young.
Matt Boyd, Cy Young.
Biggie finds the fountain of youth, another triple crown.
Yeah.
I don't even know who else they have on their team.
I was literally just trying to think of someone to say MVP, and I'm like, I can't even name a player.
They have Nico Goodrum.
There we go. Nico Goodrum. There you go. That's
yeah, I really don't know.
One of the better players on their team and still not known by anyone that does not play fantasy baseball.
I know that catcher because they did catch him, and he didn't even make my top 30. Grayson Griner.
Oh,
he didn't even make the top 30.
30 teams in the league. Team doesn't have a catcher in the top 30.
No, because like the Nationals have. Oh
no, you have some teams that they have the committee.
Yeah, same thing with to be honest with you, same thing with the Orioles. Believe it or not, I had Cisco and what's his name, Pablo Severino. Pablo Center? Is it Pablo? Pedro Severino.
Oh, yeah, Pedro.
I mean, I got Cisco. Believe it or not, I actually kind of like Chance Cisco this year. Like, I had him, I think, ranked 16th out of my catchers. And I mean, honestly, if you're in like a 2-catcher league or you're going to punt catchers, like, and wait till like the 21st round or whatever, it's not a bad guy to pick up.
No.
He's only 25. Lefty, so he's playing the better side of a platoon. He's in a good ballpark. His stats have improved the last 2 years. I don't know. Like, he's someone that I could see, having a decent year. I'm not saying he's going to turn into real Muto, but
yeah, if you're doing like a 1-catcher league, my personal opinion on it is either you take the chance high and grab one of those top guys, or you just wait it out.
Yeah.
There's no reason to grab in those like early middle rounds.
No,
definitely not.
No. If you don't get real Muto, to be honest with you, because he's got the safest floor of them.
Honestly, I think of catchers the way I think of tight ends in football.
Yeah.
You don't grab one of those like top 3 guys, you can wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not getting Kelsey or Kittle, just like wait. No, it's true. Same thing, because that's what I said too. Like the top 4 probably in catchers this year, and I put JT and Grandal only because I put them 1 and 2, only because of their floor, because they've done it, and you kind of know what they are. I mean, Grandal gets a little boost in OBP leagues because he's got a higher on base percentage, but if you're doing straight up 5x5, I mean, Real Muto is going to hit 280, score 90, drive in 85, and hit 25 home runs. And he even stole 9 bases last year. So, I mean, the guy is obviously, but you spent, like Bruce asked me in the chat yesterday, do you spend the 5th rounder on him? I'm like, no.
No.
I'm not grabbing in the 5th round, him for a 5th rounder. Why? I'd rather have 3 starters, a closer, and like 5 bats before I think about catcher.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're talking the 11th, 12th round. Now, granted, if people are risk averse or whatever, and I can grab like a Mitch Garver in the 11th round, yeah, I'll go for that. Maybe he's the real deal and he hits another 30 home runs this year. I'll take it. But if not, like I said, if you're gonna wait till like the 15th, 16th round, give me like a Jason Castro or a Chance Cisco or someone like that. I'll take it. I like Omar Narvaez. I've actually put him 6th on my list. I think he might be someone you can get late. I mean, the dude's like a 276 lifetime hitter. He's always got great plate discipline. And he actually had 22 home runs last year. And that was in Seattle. Now he's going to Milwaukee. I could see the guy hitting 280, hitting 25 bombs in Milwaukee. So he's definitely someone I like.
Yeah.
It's basically JT and Grandal, and then I had Sanchez and Garver 3rd and 4th, only because Sanchez with the injuries. I mean, he came up with the world on fire, and then he got hurt, and it hasn't been that great. But he still got incredible power. Same thing with Garver. Last year, he just blew up, but you don't know, if that's sustainable. So upside though, Sanchez and Garver could be 1 and 2 with upside.
Right.
They have the ceiling, but it's just the floor. And if you're going to draft someone, I always go floor, especially if you're going to draft like first 6, 7 rounds. I always try to go floor.
Yeah.
And then take my chances after that. But
yeah, I definitely don't. I never go with catcher early. Like, especially if I miss out on the top guys, I'm not going to go until way later.
yeah, like I said, man, it's just I don't know. There's just too many guys out there that'll put up just as good, if not better, stats than Real. So
yeah,
And like I said, someone like Narvaez, if you get him like in the 11th round, I mean, what are you losing? 20 runs, 20 RBIs, a few stolen bases, maybe 5 home runs and 10 points on the batting average. I mean, I'll sacrifice that 6 rounds of draft. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really losing a lot. Now if JT was like Mike Piazza, now it's a different story. I mean, the dude's hitting 330 with 40 bombs. Now, that's different. But
I miss Piazza.
Yeah.
Oh, Piazza, awesome.
Yeah.
He was such a great hitter. I used to love when he hit that like high outside fastball to right field. His whole body would just like straighten up. And boom.
I don't know. Back to the whole playoff thing, though. Like Trevor Bauer had a video. He made a video on his what's it called, Momentum. He talked about the whole thing, and it's like, the one point I think was his best point he made was like with the whole bye thing with like the top seeds. He was saying like that shouldn't be how it is. He's like, then you're like, you make the number 1 seeds wait like whatever a week or whatever it is until the wild cards are figured out, and then it's like the whole season's about routine. You're playing 162 games in whatever amount of like 180 days, and then you have to take like a week off before playing another game. So it's like he was saying too, especially with pitchers, like especially if pitcher like pitches like the 4th to last day of this regular season, then he waits even longer, and it's like now you're like breaking out of the routine of every day in the major leagues.
Right.
So I thought that was a really good point.
I can see that. I just don't know if that outweighs the fact that, like, you know, resting your bullpen and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I mean, I see both sides of it, and I think certain guys. It depends on your team and who's on your team. Do they prefer the rest at the end of the year, kind of regroup, rest up the little minor injuries, or do they prefer to just keep going? I mean, I think that's kind of a personal thing. I don't know how you can really judge that one way or the other. It's the same thing with home field.
Yeah.
Home field's all about the money. It means nothing in baseball. Home field. It really doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it last year.
Yeah. I think it was last year through the whole playoffs too.
Yeah.
The home team actually had a losing record.
I don't think any. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, because it just really doesn't matter. I mean, the whole thing with the home team, and this is the thing that I find weird too, is that the whole thing with the home team is that they'll always get at least equal games at home, but that's not true in a 7-game series because the home team is for the first 2 and then on the road for the next 3, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other. That thing's a whole other issue.
Right.
The like it really should be like 2-2, 1-1-1, but that's just a ridiculous amount of travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
because you can't have them do like 3-3-1 because 3 games in a row that's too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I did 2-2, 1-1-1 is fun. You know what the bottom line is? I'll tell you the bottom line right now. You have to reduce the regular season.
Yeah.
Because I think they should go with the 7-game series. It should be 2-2, 1-1-1 for the LCS and the World Series. Now, if you're going to do that, you have an extra travel day or 2 in there, possible. Second of all, if you expand the wild card to 3-game series instead of just a 1-game elimination, now you're adding a couple days on it. Take a week away from the regular season. Make it 156 games. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, what really? Like, you know, I don't know. I that's the way I look at it. If you want to do it differently, I think they should do that. In general, they get more attendance and more people watching in the playoffs anyway. So if you're going to expand the playoffs, it's not like you're losing money by taking 6 games away from the regular season, really.
And especially like if this new rule actually goes through, like that's kind of taking away from the regular season too. Like now you like almost like how in the NBA, like the regular season is meaningless. It's like the postseason is the one that like really matters. Because now you like have almost every team like actually in the hunt, but
yeah.
except for the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers are going to win it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tigers are going to be like the '97 Marlins wild card team. It just like dominates. Just comes in and like takes it.
Right.
That was actually a really good World Series. I remember watching that in '97 because I actually have money on the Marlins. It was the smartest bet I ever made.
Nice.
That was a great World Series, though.
That was 1 year before I was born.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, I remember I put money on the Marlins before the playoffs, and they were the wild card. So I had I forget what the odds were, like 50-1, something like that, because wild card had just started, and it was like so.
Damn.
Yeah, I put like $20 on them, like $1,000.
That's awesome.
Marlins.
I'm putting
and it was great too because I had the money on it, and of course it goes to Game 7, and it's got to go to like extra innings and shit. I was like on the edge of my seat, and I'll never forget it when Renteria hit that single over Charles Nagy's head into center field and won the game. I was like, oh yeah.
I'll put 20 cents on the Tigers.
I'll tell you what, man. I put like $1 on any team in the National League. Because
Oh, yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
aside from like the Marlins and the Giants and maybe the Rockies, and probably
Hey.
the Pirates.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't count out the Marlins.
Yeah.
Marlins,
I don't know about
sneaky
that.
Marlins.
The Marlins are definitely, I think, the best of the like last place teams.
Yeah.
But the rest of the division is just too good for them to do anything.
Yeah. The division's a little tougher than the NL Central with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh finishes with a better record than the Marlins, though.
Not to say that if the Marlins were in any other division, they're making any type of run at anything.
Oh.
But just saying the division they're in just makes it a little worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was looking at the Pirates. They're not. I mean, you know, if things go right,
Yeah.
they could win possibly 75 to 80 games if things go right for them. I mean, because they're missing Tyon, but they do have Musgrove, who I haven't looked at him a lot, and I was never really a big fan, but a lot of fantasy people seem to be on him this year. So I'd like to look into that too. You know, they have him, they have Trevor Williams, they have Chris Archer, they have the other dude, Mitch Keller. You know, some couple of decent starts, no aces, but I mean, you know, if Archer can bounce back,
it's solid.
Yeah. Chris Archer's the Cy Young.
There you go. Hey, Chris Archer's the Cy Young. Musgrove pitches well. Keller in a second year. Hey, you never know, man. I mean, they could have a solid staff at least. You know, and they got the kid behind the plate, Jacob Stallings. We'll see. He's like, you know, he was like a 29-year-old rookie last year, but we'll see what he can do. Josh Bell was solid last year. He fell off in the second half, but he was solid. You know, Kevin Newman at short, Colin Moran at third. They still got Polanco in right field. I mean, they're not, you know.
It's
like,
not the Tigers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Tigers, 110 wins.
Not even close.
110 wins. But like,
I was thinking more like 162.
we know their names at least on the Pirates.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I really don't know anybody on the Tigers too much. I'd know them if like I heard their names.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of. Oh wait, didn't they sign Jonathan Scope? Play second.
Did yeah. I was just looking at that before because I was doing the second base rankings, but he's not going to be in my rankings though.
Yeah, Scope was decent though. He had a couple of years, but he's been kind of up and down. Trying to think, they signed another veteran. I thought.
Yeah, I think they did. I'm trying to think now. I was just looking at the roster earlier. I don't remember now.
Oh, they got. I mean, they got Romine.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got Roman.
That's right. I forgot about him.
They got Cron.
Cron, that's right. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Forgot about him. Yeah.
Scope, good room. Who the fuck knows is going to play third base?
Oh yeah, they got Ivan Nova too.
Oh, Nova, yeah. We'll see if any of the young pitchers come up because they got a couple studs in the minors. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Casey Mize and who's the other kid, Matt Manning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Casey Mize is supposed to be dude who's like a number one pick, and you know, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they keep hanging on to Boyd. I mean, there were trade rumors about him last year at the trade deadline, and then in the offseason, I heard some rumblings, but I mean, I don't know. Are they going to move him? No.
I think they're waiting to like get blown away by a deal.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Fulmer comes back.
They're waiting for him to start 5-0 on the season.
Yeah, right.
Michael Fulmer comes back this year, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because he's surgery, but I think he's due back this season. Yeah. I don't know in the beginning of the year, but I think he's due back early in the year. And don't they still have Jordan Zimmerman?
Yep,
I think so.
Boyd, Zimmerman. Their starting rotation is like Boyd, Zimmerman, Turnbull, Nova, Norris.
Oh, Daniel, no. That's right. Spencer
Oh.
Turnbull.
I mean, at least that's what it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. You got to remember, too, in the beginning of the year, before the season starts, like now, everyone's so optimistic about everybody. I was like, this guy, if he does this, then it's going to. Then you get into the seaseason, it's like, yeah, he's got a 5.8 ERA in June. Reality strikes. That's why people who are on like some of these younger pitchers and stuff, like Turnbull, I remember reading something about him. It's like, yeah, I don't know about that. Let me wait and see. Because pitching is a lot more linear as far as progression goes in general than hitting. Like when hitters will come up, and if they take the world by storm, like we've seen in the past couple of years, some of these rookies come up and just like dominate, then they kind of take a step back, and then they progress. Pitchers tend not to do that. Pitchers tend to struggle right off the bat. It's very rare that a pitcher comes in. All right, maybe the first couple starts, because no one has a book on them and stuff like that. But generally, if a pitcher comes in his rookie year and pitches a whole season, it's generally not very good. And they kind of progress from there. And just little by little, they get better and better and better. Whereas hitters are natural talent, they can hit the ground running immediately. And then the adjustments need to be made. So whether they make it, that's why the sophomore slump. And then, and then the injuries, of course, playing 160 games and everything, which is a lot more than minor leagues. It's the same thing we look at in football. People talk about guys like in football coming from college. Well, when you got a rookie coming from college, especially a running back or a wide receiver or whatever it may be, or just about any position, really, you got to remember the college season is only 12, 13 games. You get into December in the NFL season, you got guys who are bigger and faster hitting you all year, and now you're playing extra games that your body's not used to. That's why a lot of these running backs and stuff, these rookie running backs that show out really well, like in the beginning of the year, they fade at the end because of the fatigue. The body's not used to handling those kind of hits and stuff all year long for that amount of time. Same thing with baseball. How long is the AAA season? 130 games. So you got a rookie that comes up. Once they hit the dog days of August, then they're playing every day in the heat. And then you get into September and it's pressure, pennant race maybe. These guys break down.
I know it's funny with Austin Romine going to the Tigers. There was a fight a couple years ago with him and Cabrera.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. They're teammates now.
We'll see how that goes now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They'll be on the bench a lot because Cabrera's a DH and Roman's a backup. They'll be chilling on the bench. I think Griner is going to get the start there. Yeah. I mean, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think Griner's a lefty hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays the stronger side of any kind of platoon you might have anyway. So.
Oh yeah, what did you guys think of XFL this week?
I didn't watch it.
I watched some of the games. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I heard mixed reviews, but for the most part, from what I've read and seen and stuff, people liked it. But it's also novelty. So first weekend is one thing. Let's see if they can sustain this for a couple of years.
I think it's definitely better than the AAF that they had a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That was just like, I don't know. I feel like this was gonna be. It's like more like gives like players a second chance to play, and then still if they perform well, then they'll have a chance at the NFL again.
Yeah. What would have been great is if they were able to bring have guys like Johnny Manziel, Colin Kaepernick, Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, like guys like that who actually played in the NFL.
There'd also be a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I saw something where Kaepernick wanted so much money for a contract.
Yeah.
Oh, from the XFL?
Yeah.
So I had to take a call quick. So I come back and I hear Josh Gordon and Colin Kaepernick. I'm like, this isn't baseball.
Yeah, we were talking about the XFL for a sec. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, this podcast, we always do that.
Yeah, we don't like to get pigeonholed, here, Nick. No one puts baby in a corner.
No one puts baby in a corner. What do you think about that whole kickoff rule with the XFL?
What's the rule?
Not the rule, but like the whole format of it. How what's it called? They line up on like the opposing 35-yard line, pretty much, and neither team can move until the ball is caught. It's not like a run up like the normal.
Oh yeah.
Kickoff. Definitely take a look at it later when you can.
Yeah,
it's completely different.
That's cool.
And they have it if the kicker doesn't get it to at least like the 20-yard line and the team lets it bounce, then they automatically put it on the 45. Like they made a bunch of rules for the kickoff and punt returns that like make it so you want to return it. And when you're kicking, so you want to give them a kick they have to return.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, that's what I think the NFL took away, like a lot of the kick return stuff, man.
I understand. They moved it up like 10 yards. And then they also took away the running start for the running start for the kicking team is fine. I understand the safety part of it. But in the sense of like onside kicks, like they're almost impossible now.
Yeah.
You might as well do the thing that they were doing in the Pro Bowl that they took from like the AAF or whatever the fuck it was, where it was like instead of an onside kick, you do like a 4th and 15 play. And if you convert it, you keep the ball. If not, it's the other team's ball.
Yeah.
Because onside kicks at this point are obsolete. Like, unless you have someone that could like drop kick it and like do that like drop kick punt type of thing. Like I don't see any way a kicker is giving that ball a decent like bounce or hang time type of thing that the kicking team's actually going to make a recovery.
Yeah, unless the receiving team drops it. That's the only thing you can hope.
That's the only thing that you hope for there. Which I mean, they're not to say it's not going to happen, but they're putting the best guys they can out there so it doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
And without the running start, there's times where they'll fumble it or just like it won't be clean, but they have the time to cover it up.
Yeah.
Because the kick team doesn't have that running start.
Yeah. The NFL took the whole kickoff stuff, like all that stuff, like they took it away. Because not only that, too, now you're starting 10, you're kicking from 10 yards ahead of it. And all these kickers can kick the ball. I mean, off a tee like that, all these kickers can kick the ball 80 yards. Not, they had a running, to run up to it and everything.
Oh, that's why. Honestly, more than half of those kickoffs that aren't touchbacks are the kickers purposely, like, giving them ones that they think they'll return and, they think the team is going to stop them before, was it now the 25, not even the 20? I don't even.
Yeah, 25,
25, yeah.
That's definitely check out the the XFL one though. It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need at least half a season's worth of see how the trends that are going with something like that, like how this rule is working.
Oh, did you see their? They don't kick extra points. They do.
Oh yeah.
To go for one, you do a play from the 2-yard line. To go for two, you do a play from the 5. and you could even do a play from the 10-yard line and go for 3 after a touchdown.
That's kind of cool.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, what's up, Jose?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey,
Good.
what's up?
Ain't much.
Yeah, so this is Johnny and Nick also on with me, Alex. So
What's up, guys?
What's up, Jose? How you doing? You're in New York? Alex told me you're a Yankee fan.
No, I live in PA, actually.
Oh, all right.
Like right outside Philadelphia.
Oh, that's cool.
no, damn, right outside. Yeah, I'm like up. I'm up towards Scranton.
Oh, where? Okay, you know where Reading is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people it's outside Philly just because most people don't actually know where it is.
Okay. Damn.
Philadelphia and a Yankee fan? Oh,
This,
as a Mets fan, I can't condone this.
I don't hate the Mets.
So how did you become a Yankee fan and not a Philly fan? Are you from Philly or like?
No. My dad went to NYU in the early '90s when Jeter and Bernie all came up.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
He grew up a Pirates fan because he's from Puerto Rico, but he changed for the Yankees in the early '90s.
wow. Damn.
There you go.
I mean, I'm one of those weird people. I'm a Yankees fan, but I'm an Eagles fan for football. So it's like people always
Hey,
like,
that's lit.
everyone's like, what the hell? How do you become a Yankees and a Yankees fan?
Especially
Eagles
since
fans are
it's usually
bad.
Yankee Giants.
Yeah. Yankees, Giants, Mets, Jets.
That's how it is.
I'm actually a Yankees Jets fan, but I root for the Eagles just because it's local.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Twins and a Saints fan. So.
Interesting.
All right. See,
Interesting.
I forgot. I've never asked you about that. Why? I noticed that once. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm a Twins fan because when I became a Twins fan when Kirby Puckett came up. I'm actually more of a baseball fan than anything, but I fell in love with the Twins, Kirby Puckett in the '80s when he came up, and of course a couple of years after he came up, they won the World Series when I was a freshman in high school and stuff. So I always loved Puckett. Was always my favorite player growing like in the '80s and stuff. So I stuck with the Twins. As far as the Saints go, a couple of guys that were on the Saints back in the '80s were from New Jersey. Sam Mills, the linebacker, he went to Montclair State from New Jersey, and Ironhead Hayward was around the area. He went to Passaic Valley High School, like not too far from like 10 miles from where I lived. So I kind of started rooting for them, and then they got good in the '80s. They had a great defense and everything. So I was like, God, I'm all about this. So I just kind of stuck with them, to be honest. I started rooting for them when I was younger, and then I just stuck with it.
Do you follow basketball or hockey at all?
You know, I used to. I used to be more into all four sports. Grew up big Celtics fan because like I said, grew up in the '80s. So Bird, McHale, Parrish, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a huge Knicks fan, and back in those days, she was a huge sports fan. Period. And I used to watch games with her. I used to watch basketball games, and the Celtics always kicked the shit out of the Knicks back then. So I became a Celtics fan just because they always beat the Knicks, and they were great, of course. And then I get into hockey. A friend of mine from high school was real into hockey, and I was big into baseball, so we kind of got each other into each sport. So I was like, all right, well, I'm a Celtics fan, a Saints fan, and a Twins fan. I was like, I got to pick some random team. So I picked the Red.
Oh shit.
So you picked the Red Wings?
Yeah, I was tradition, the original six. I was like Gordie Howe. I was like, all right, I didn't know shit about hockey, but the Red Wings were actually, they actually got good with Yzerman and those guys, Larionov and Fedorov and the whole Russian army guys and everything. So, but I haven't been into hockey or basketball really much in like the past like 5 to 10 years. I'm not following. I know some of the players, but I'm not really into it.
To be honest, with basketball, I didn't start watching until I was like 10 years old, like back in 2008, and then like I started watching it, and then that's why I became a Lakers fan. Is I started watching Kobe. I just fell in love with the Lakers. Now RIP.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people get into their teams too. They start watching certain players or whatever. It's the same. Like I said, the same thing happened to me. It wasn't a local thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, with baseball, I don't know. With baseball, I played it, I coached it, I umpired it. I've always been into baseball, just the game in general. So I mean, I'm a Twins fan, and of course, I'm always going to love my Twins. But I'm realistic too. Like I'm a logical baseball fan. Like I'm not like just like one of those homers.
Well, none of my teams are really good, so like I'm a fan just for the sport as it is anyway, just because it's very easy to be when your team sucks. But
Right.
Hey,
my
guys,
fandom just goes around the whole like I'm in New York. The Mets are the only like home team I actually root for. Like I like the Islanders. My family are Jets fans, but like I'm a Chargers fan, a Mavericks fan, and a Ducks fan.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Reasons being, some of them I don't even remember the reasons. Like it was when I was younger, and like Chargers, I think it was more just players, like with Daniel Tomlinson, Antonio Gates, Philip Rivers. Like I just stuck to it. The Ducks, I honestly, I'm starting to think it really like my family used to joke it's because I love the Mighty Ducks movies, and I'm starting to think that might actually be the reasoning for it.
Oh.
Like, yeah, it just stuck with me.
Yeah, that's funny.
I remember Timu Solani on the Ducks. He was like their big goal scorer back in the day, back in like the 90s. Chargers, I could see. I mean, when Danny and Tomlinson was, incredible.
I love Tomlinson.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. The Mavericks, I could see too, like Dirk. I think won the championship.
Yeah,
What,
love Dirk.
Was right.
And I love with the Nets. I loved like Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson. Jason Kidd ended up going to the Mavericks. Carter played on the Mavericks. Like, so it all just kind of the team I liked, and then the players I liked went to that team, and it just kind of all just made it even easier to like, all right, yep, I'm a Mavericks fan. That's it.
Vince Carter played for half the league.
Yeah.
Dude's like how old now? Dude's gonna be playing basketball till he's 50.
Yeah.
I love Vince Carter.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I think he's like 43 or something.
Yeah, he's definitely. He's been in the league like 20-something years. I mean, it's incredible.
I wish he was in the dunk contest this year.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if he just went up there and did a normal dunk every time. I just want to see him in the dunk contest.
Just to be able to dunk at his age. After the beating his legs have taken all these years.
I don't know how he still does it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
He's in serious good shape.
Anyway, we went way off. Like,
Yeah.
way too much pod tar.
Yeah, as always.
Potter.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess. Well, the reason I had Jose on here was because he kind of thinks the opposite of us, where he likes the world a little bit. So I don't know what you thought. What do you think of what? Like, why do you think that, Jose? What's like? What is your first reaction when you saw the whole proposal?
So my first reaction is like the choosing of teams might not be my favorite idea. It's still kind of marinating for me, but I like the idea of a bye in the MLB playoffs. And the whole plan has to be contingent on shortening the regular season because I think the season's too long as is. Usually around September, as a fan, I usually start getting tired as a Yankees fan because you kind of know like some divisions are mostly won before like the last week of September. In the AL East case, I don't think the Yankees will be fighting much after August. So that whole month is kind of like used for the younger players, and it's not really as entertaining. And you kind of just sit back and wait for the playoffs. And at that point, some of us get into football really easily, and I can't divert my attention. Once I'm on football, I'm on football. So I have to really consider that the shortening of the regular season would help because the youth problem that kids don't really like baseball as much as we did growing up, definitely is part of the long season. And I think that that's just like one issue. I think it's the main issue, but the playoffs, revamping the playoffs is obviously going to gain attraction at first because people are going to be like, what's this new system? How's it going to play out? It's not a perfect system by any stretch, but the bye definitely gives the best teams an advantage. And then seeing more wild card teams, essentially, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to win that many games to get into the playoffs in this new format. And so anyone can win. The dangerous part about that is, though, a 75 win team could also make the final round and be completely blown out in the new ALCS, I guess you could say. Imagine like the 75 win Texas Rangers playing the 110 win Yankees. You know, that's pretty much going to end one way. Or if it doesn't end that way and the Rangers win in a miracle series, they kind of, you know, it shocks the world in the moment, but also sets the World Series up for like, I don't know, a winner takes all, you know, like kind of like we had back in, what was it, 2015, the Royals? No, 2014, Royals versus Giants. The Giants weren't even the division winners. They were a wild card team that year, and most people didn't even count them. I think it was the Cardinals that most people wanted to win. So I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said to the point. I just don't know about the bye. The bye, I agree with you shortening the season because we actually talked about this before. And I would like them to shave a week off the season. So make it 156 games, I think would be fine. I definitely agree with expanding the wild card round. However many teams you want to add, I don't necessarily agree with adding 3. I honestly think they should go more with a football. The way the football has it set up, 6 teams, the top 2 get the bye, and then 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, and you have a 3-game series in the wild card round. Now, if you're going to add that, also what I mentioned before was I disagree. I've always disagreed with the 2-3-2 format in the LCS and the World Series. I think it should be 2-2-1-1-1. Now, you're adding travel days, but that's fine. You're adding a max of 2 in the LCS and a max of 2 in the World Series. That's 4 days. You're adding a max of 2 days in the wild card round. That's 6 days. Take away 6 games in a regular season. There you go. There's your 6 days. The season ends September 19th, and you could start the playoffs in September and still run through October. And, you know, at this point, you do a format like that and everything goes 5-7 games. Then you're looking at, you're still ending up in October. You're not going into November, barring catastrophe. But, I mean, I would agree with that part of it. I don't like the teams picking their opponents. I think it's way too gimmicky. I just don't like it.
That's not perfect.
It just feels like it just feels gimmicky. It feels like they're trying too hard. You know what I mean? It's like
it feels like they're trying to be March Madness.
Yeah, that's actually what I was...
Once you take the statistics out of it and you start letting teams like just choose and like that, the gimmicks of it are a little too much there.
Yeah,
I was going to mention about the way it's funny you mentioned March Madness because I was listening to the Michael K show earlier, and I think it was Michael that actually said like now you make it more like you can make it like Selection Sunday. Now it makes it more exciting to but then it's like it's not basketball. It's not the same thing. It's like, why are you trying to make it like that?
I think because they're trying to divert like attention to the youth. Because I know a lot of kids love the March Madness opening round Selection Sunday and seeing teams they don't expect in. It feels like this whole new playoff format was meant to get the youth in because the old fans are still going to be there as much as they complain. I don't really believe an old, I guess, a boomer like we can use like. Those fans that say, oh, they're changing the game too much. I still think they're going to watch. They've been watching for 50 plus years. They're going to watch no matter what, but they'll complain about the new rules, new systems, and they'll still watch. So you want to target the youth before it's too late and they start going into different sports like lacrosse and soccer and all these sports have been blowing up since our like lifetime.
Lacrosse.
Yeah, I think if you want to get the youth into it, though, I think they need to, try to. I know it's not all on Manfred to do this, but to get rid of blackouts, because a lot of people nowadays have like a streaming service. They want to just buy MLB TV, and then with their local games are blacked out on there. You can't even watch it. So it's like, if you want to have kids in tune to it and watch the local games or whatever, then you should be just having all available games, not just. If the Yankees are playing and you're living in New York, then it's blacked out. It's like, then it's not.
Actually, yeah, that just happened to me today. I was trying to open up on ESPN Plus I was trying to open up the Islanders game, and I'm like, no, blackout.
Yeah, so I guess it's not just baseball though. So I think another problem though too is they just don't market players at all. Like
they don't. They fail at it.
That's one thing they need to do to be able to. Like there was one, I think, on Trevor Bauer's video he made earlier. The one really good point he made was about, when you open up Twitter or whatever, then you go on there, all you see like a video of, Steph Curry making a pass. He makes a bounce pass and it blows up on Twitter, and then Mike Trout hits a bomb home run, and you can't find it anywhere. So it's like all these other. They have more
that's definitely where hockey and baseball are definitely the two behind on that, where football and basketball definitely command that type of market so far. And there's no reason for it to be that way. It's not anything special that has to be done. It's more of just a choice in the matter of this is what we're going to do. And I don't know, it's weird that I don't understand why it's not like that.
What's the problem? The major problem, there's a couple problems with this whole thing, is that I understand what you're saying about the playoff format and trying to target it toward the younger generation. But Manfred's doing this stuff and proposing, listening to proposals and considering it, obviously. And like you guys brought up, you want the younger kids. Look, going to a major league game with you, your wife, and your two kids, it's expensive. It's, and it's more expensive than a lot of families can afford on more than once or twice a year basis. So why not let them watch the game? Secondly to that, isn't Manfred the one that wants to get rid of 42 minor league teams? How much does it cost to go to a minor league game? You're taking the chance from for parents or grandparents or whatever to take their 8, 9, 10-year-olds to game who play Little League baseball or something, to take them to a local game that's a half hour away or whatever and see some of these minor league guys. And I was talking to Cody and Gio about it the other day. And, Gio was talking about, we were talking about the Rochester Red Wings. I'm a Twins fan. That the Rochester Red Wings in New York, that's their AAA affiliate. And as soon as I talked about Mitch Garver and guys like that, the first thing Gio said, now Gio's in high school, he's 17. First thing he said, it was I remember watching him a couple of years ago. That's the first thing he mentioned. I remember seeing him in Rochester a couple of years ago. So you're getting these younger kids being able to go to a minor league game, and if parents and grandparents actually to be able to afford to take them there, going to a minor league game, they see players there. Then over the next couple of years, they get to be at home watching these guys on the major league stage because they did away with the blackouts. This is how you grow that next generation into baseball. But Manfred's pulling this pace of play stuff, changing the playoff format, making the friggin' Selection Sunday Bachelorette shit going on.
Bachelorette.
He's going backwards.
Yeah.
Because what he's doing, he's taking the fans already, and he's trying to make it more interesting for them. That's not the way to do it. Like you said before, the boomers and the people, boomers, I consider my age almost that, but the boomers are the ones that already love the game. They're not going to change the channel. They're going to watch their team. The Yankee fans who have been Yankee fans for 50 years, they're still going to watch the Yankees. It's not going to change. I don't care what they do. They could all, they could all switch hands and they could throw underhand. It won't matter. They'll still watch them. That doesn't matter. But if the real impetus for all this is to gain the youth and to get this next generation into baseball rather than lacrosse, soccer, football, basketball, then the whole idea is to get, and the whole thing with baseball in history is it's passed down from father to son, grandparents to mother to son, whatever it may be. The whole thing is it's passed down. There's such a history in baseball, 150 years. That's the whole idea about minor league baseball and being able to sit at home comfortably and watch your team rather than spending $200 to go and like have a night out. You know what I mean? Like, I think Manfred's going about it the wrong way. Go for the youth now. Target the youth that's young now rather than targeting the people who are already into the sport and trying to change it around to make it a little more appealing. Target the youth now and get them into it. Because like we said before, once you're into it, like we talked about the Boomers, once you're into baseball and you fall in love with the game, you don't leave.
So I was...
I think he's shooting for the wrong demographic, in my opinion, with the stuff he's doing.
Yeah, so one of you guys said you were watching or listening to the Michael Kay show, and I heard something that made me think. Like, so no, I wasn't alive when they added the wild card, and then they added the second wild card team and the 1-game playoff in my lifetime. But I heard Don LaGreca talk about in '92 when they added the wild card. There was a bunch of backlash, and Bob Costas was going off every broadcast about it, saying, "Oh, you're ruining the baseball game," and it's worked. There's been so many wild card teams that have stunned the top teams because of the short series, and it proves that baseball is a game that can be won by anyone. So I don't really think that's a terrible idea. There's just some little holes in it, and of course it's like the first draft. They're not going to institute it in 2022 or 2023, like they said. I still think by then they're going to fix up a little policies and change it. But it's nice that they're talking about it because I think change is nice, and to keep people interested and instead of falling for new sports, because the NBA is always growing. The NFL is still king every Sunday. Baseball's falling behind, and to change it now would be a good time. I think it's great timing. Like we keep talking about, it's a youth thing because the youth is going towards other sports. They can name you. You can ask an 8-year-old kid. They can show you LeBron, Kobe, James Harden, all these faces. But if you show them Mike Trout and Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, they might get 1 out of 4. So that's a bad sign. I honestly think they need to do something quick to keep the youth interested, or if not, it's just going to be a dying game, and we'll just see the end of it in our lifetime. I really think it could be that dangerous.
But I remember when they started the wild card, it was actually 95. It was the first year. They were going to do it in 94, but they had the strike, and there were no playoffs. Right. So in 95, what the interesting thing was you had your great series between the Mariners and the Yankees.
Oh, I've heard many stories about that series.
And it was crazy. And the weird thing about it was what they did was the road team was at home the first 2 games. And then you went to the home team's park for the next 3.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Yankees were the road team in that series against the Mariners. The Mariners had a better record. But they played at Yankee Stadium the first 2 games. And then they went to the Kingdome back then, before Safeco Field. But they went to the Kingdome for the next 3. It was the weird setup.
That's really weird.
You had the great series. The series was incredible. It went to 5 games, and then you had base hit and everything. Edgar Martinez against Jack McDowell, driving a Joey Cora and Ken Griffey. You know what I mean? You had the great series there. And people got to see, and that was the thing too with that series. I mean, baseball kind of lucked out because there was a lot of backlash about it, but baseball kind of lucked out because you got to see a 5-game series. It was exciting. Game 5 came down to the last at bat. You also got to see Derek Jeter and A-Rod when they first came up. You know what I mean? You were watching Griffey and Randy Johnson, and it was, they had a lot of star power.
It was a fun time, I bet.
they kind of lucked out in the sense that was a real big deal to save that whole idea, because you were right. A lot of the older people at that time were like, "Why, another team in the play? If you don't win your division in 162 games, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs." Blah blah blah. That was the whole argument. You know what I mean? So that kind of took off, and they kind of lucked out with the whole thing. That people did fall in love with it because of that series. A lot of it.
Now that you mentioned that series, I'm actually going to pull up the video of probably one of the greatest calls of all time with the Newhouse.
Lob a base hit into the gap, and they could win it with Junior speed to stretch. And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. Edgar Martinez with a double. Ripped down the left field line, and they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Even though it was against the Yankees, I get chills listening to that call.
Yeah, that was incredible. Not only that, you got to remember too. If I'm not mistaken, I could be off a little bit, but if I'm not mistaken, the Mariners won that division or got into the playoffs the last day of the season, and Randy Johnson pitched on like 3 days rest. I believe it was against the Angels, and he pitched like a complete game shutout, like on the last day of the season. I could be wrong about that, but I think that was the same year. So that's why he was saying, Newhouse was saying, like, it continued.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like a miracle the Mariners even made it that year.
Speaking of miracles, I just reminded myself that both times the Marlins won the World Series, they were the wild card team, and they just shocked the world.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier too.
7. What's it called? 7 teams in the playoffs. That's more chances for them to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers.
And the Tigers. Oh, yeah, the Tigers are winning the World Series. I forgot what I said.
Honestly, I could incentivize teams to not tank either. Because you could really make a push if you're like the Blue Jays. You're not trying to win the division clearly, but to sneak into the playoffs and then play hard in a short 3-game series, anything could happen. And if this format does stick, a 70 team will win the World Series at some point.
I don't know about 71 team.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
75. Okay.
75, yeah, that's more.
I don't see you're going to see a team under 500 in the playoffs.
I don't know.
Maybe.
The American League is very like you have the division winners, and then you have like the 2 good wild card teams, and then it really dips after that.
Yeah, it's so top heavy.
So that number 7 team, could be down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you're saying, I think more teams would be in it, so to speak. I mean, look at the American League last year. I mean, teams were done. I mean, the Indians were the odd man out because they were a good team. They finished a few games out of the division. I mean, 8 games out of the division, but they were in it. They were close to the wild card in September. Aside from them, but you have other teams that maybe could have tried a little harder, maybe could have made some moves to get into that 7 spot, but they didn't because it's not there. So they didn't. I don't know. I just can't see, even with 7 teams, I just can't see a team under 500 making it.
Yeah, last year it would have been the 7 team would have been the Red Sox at 84 wins.
I just can't see too. This is another reason though. Even if there's a chance of that, there's another reason I don't like the 7th team. Make it 6. I'd be fine with 6. Make it, like I said, like kind of a football format. Top 2 teams got to buy.
Also, with 7 teams, we have more wild card teams than division winning teams.
Yeah.
That is a little crazy.
Well, I see. This is what I think. I think they should expand, make it 32 teams,
and then
make
do the NFL
4 divisions of 4, and then make, you know what I mean? Then you have 4 division winners, 2 wild cards, kind of like football. Then the 3 plays the 6, the 4 plays the 5. The 2 division winners get the 3 and 4 seed, and the first 2 teams get to bye.
Right.
I mean, I like the way the NFL has it set up, their playoffs. I think it's fair. The only difference with baseball it'll be a 3-game series, then a 5-game series, then a 7-game series for the wild card division, LCS.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's hard to say because you know what it is. Change is never looked at as. It's rarely looked at as something good, especially for fans of the sport because we like the sport the way it is. But I'm all for it. I don't care. I don't really. I just think the whole, like I said before, the whole picking your opponent thing is gimmicky.
Yeah, and everything. I think everyone's kind of on the same stance there, where that's kind of pushing the line a little too much.
Because worst case scenario, like when you think about picking a team, there could be so many factors, how they match up, or even they could be petty and be very small reasons, and it could make news stories that aren't really there, and it would just add more fuel to the fire. I am interested to see the team that does get picked, how often would they beat the higher seeded team, just because it's one of those 8-9 matchups in March Madness. You never really know who's going to win, and actually the math proves that the 9 seed, the lower seed, is supposed to lose more. They actually win more. So I think the added incentive to beat the team that picked you and embarrass them would definitely make great television, especially in a 3-game series. That could go anyway, anytime.
Interesting thing they had with the 3-game series too is, don't forget, the proposal is all 3 games are at the home field.
Yeah, I agree with that though.
Not like 2-1 or 1-1-1. It's all 3 games are at the division.
Really? I didn't actually see that. Yeah,
I think that's how it should be. Because if you don't get the top 1, then you should be just not play any games at home. It's more incentive to get the number 1 wild card.
I mean, also in that sense, it's going to be division team versus wild card team anyway. So
yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be 2. Yeah, it'll wind up being 2 versus 7. Well, whoever they pick, But what it is
I have a feeling that part's going to be taken out.
Yeah, 2 gets to pick out of the bottom 3 teams. So it's not
let's
2
say,
can pick.
Let's just say 2 versus 7, because I have a good feeling at some point that part has to be taken out. I
think so.
I don't see any way where they're gonna really look at this and be like, this makes sense.
Yeah, I'll pick the 5 seed rather than the 7 seed. That's why I think it's kind of, that whole thing is a little silly. But and I also think the 7 teams is too much. I think 6 teams is plenty.
Well, I think that's another reason why there's a little extra backlash to it. Is it's a little more of a jump than they probably should be attempting to take. You're not adding 1 team, you're adding 2 teams.
Right.
You're adding 2 more wild card spots. This is all in addition to all this other bullshit of the let's have them pick a team and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's what is kind of pushing it, is that they're adding 2 teams to it.
I mean, it would make more sense if they already did expansion teams, 2 more expansion teams, instead of because then it's extra. Then it's okay, you have 2 extra teams now. So
yeah, 2 expansion teams, 2 more wild card teams, make it 6 and 3, and then you could little by little.
Yeah.
This is a big jump before they really need to be or should be.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should expand, like you said. I think they should expand to the 32 teams. Put a team in Vegas, put a team in Montreal,
Yeah. Bring back the Expos.
And then make
Move
it
the Rays to Montreal.
Yeah, soon that's a whole other thing. The Tampa Bay Montreal Rays
We're gonna
Expos, whatever they're going to be.
split
That's
a season between the two.
Yeah,
That's so
I don't-
ridiculous.
That's
That whole
never
thing.
gonna work.
I think that's just like an asinine idea. Like I don't know. I mean, I get the concept of it because they want to test the waters, so to speak, with Montreal, as far as if they will accept the team up there. But why throw them like a team that already exists?
Yeah.
Granted, it's a Rays and they're pretty good, but even so,
They still don't even have a fan base.
yeah, that's just silly. That's just silly. Just give Montreal a team back. You know what I mean? Like give them the Expos back.
yeah. Screw the Nationals.
No.
It's not like they just won a World Series or anything. Give them back to Montreal.
Well, the Ravens were the original Browns. They won two Super Bowls. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns moved to Baltimore, and then the Browns got a new team 2 years later. So, Art Modell, the team, like overnight, like at midnight, like he had trucks in Cleveland, and they moved the whole team to Baltimore.
Damn.
So the Baltimore Ravens are the original Cleveland Browns.
Mm.
So when they talk about the Cleveland Browns franchise, like the Browns they won the they won the NFL championship of it. That's actually the Ravens franchise. That's not the Browns franchise. Browns are a new franchise, technically. But people forget about that.
There's one or two other teams in sports that are like that too. That one's an interesting one.
Yeah, that was weird because that happened in the 90s. 95, 96, like mid 90s, I believe that happened when Art Modell, the owner of the Browns, moved his team to Baltimore.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to think of exactly. It could have been like 96, 97, like around there. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head because obviously the Ravens won in 2000. So they were there. I think it happened a few years before that. And then it happened in like the mid 90s, and then like a couple years later, the Browns got a franchise again.
Mm.
It was
96.
weird. Okay, yeah, and the Browns got their franchise in what 98. It was only like 2 years in between when Cleveland didn't have a team or something like that. It was weird. Oh, weird situation.
1998. Yep.
There you go. I haven't hit total dementia yet in my old age. I still remember a few things.
Yeah, some of the shit you remember just.
My wife would tell you differently.
Oh.
Yeah, so how about them Tigers?
Tigers Pirates World Series coming up. I think. All right. So I think we're a year early. Like we were talking about it earlier with like rookies and like pitching. It takes them a little bit to grow. Mize and Manning are gonna get their innings in this year, so that way next year Zimmerman's contract's gonna be up. Boyd's gonna be traded off for something better after he starts this season 5-0. And then, next year, that's when we're going to see it.
Yeah, man, we're ahead of the curve.
See it.
Yeah.
Jose, in case you're thinking like we're totally off the wall.
No, you're good. You're good.
This was a joke. Like on the last podcast the three of us did together, we were talking about, I don't know how it got off track that way, but we tend to do that. And it was just, we were talking about like Tigers Pirates World Series, like how crazy, like hot takes and stuff like that. So it's been kind of like a running joke. So that's why we're talking.
We've hit the point that now the Tigers are going to be playing the Pirates in the World Series, and that's what's going to happen.
That would be the
about 11-team ties.
That would be the most I'm ready for football series ever. I honestly would be in full football mode. Wouldn't watch a single pitch if that was the case.
You wouldn't be on the edge of your seat Kevin Newman facing Jordan Zimmerman in the bottom of the sixth? Like, this wouldn't like rivet you?
Absolutely not. And because I actually went to college near Pittsburgh, outside of Pittsburgh, I got a taste of what Pittsburgh fans are like, and they don't deserve anything. They're spoiled from the Steelers anyway. So.
Oh my God.
The Steelers, and the Penguins too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need a baseball championship anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a shame too because they're like the Pirates were good.
They were.
When I was growing up, the Pirates were good. In the 70s, 80s, and then obviously when they had Bonds, Bonilla, when Jimmy Leland was there, Andy Van Slyke, like all those guys, like they came so close a few times in the early 90s.
And then again, a couple of years ago, I still don't believe how the heck they got that little for Garrett Cole. And now that he's the most dominant pitcher on the planet, they have nothing to show for it. That's just an inept franchise.
Oh, the Garrett Cole trade, and then the Chris Archer trade.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like how? Oh my
God! The Tigers and Pirates are making the playoffs once the baseball just says "fuck it." We're going to a 30-team playoff March Madness system. That's when it happens.
The 30 seed against the 1 seed. Just do it. Just don't even have leagues. Screw it.
That wouldn't be that bad. I don't think it would.
You know what?
I'd love to see like mid-season tournaments in like basketball and hockey and baseball. I think it'd be so interesting.
Yeah.
Just do you know what you could do in baseball? You could do a crazy tournament. If you had 32 teams.
They play enough fucking games.
Well, you could do a 32-team tournament, so it'd be half the size of like March Madness, aside from the 4 playing games. But I mean, you'd have half of that, right? Just do like you could do like a 15-game series for each round. That would
15-game series.
So you have.
I was not expecting that one.
So you have like the Marlins at the 32 seed playing the Yankees at the 1 seed. They play a 15-game season, and whoever wins that series, that 15-game series, moves on. And you just do that.
I already like it. We're already putting these 2 new expansion teams above the Marlins.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Someone actually write this article now.
Dude, because think about it. All right, so you have a round of 32, a round of 16.
I'm writing down March Madness baseball.
Then a round of 8, round of 4, then 2. That's 90 games. All right, so you can even expand it. You can make it like,
No. No. I think that's enough.
And then just do a decathlon after that.
then go. The rest of it's the decathlon. You mean decathlon is during it?
We could even do this. You could do some kind of round robin.
Oh my! 32-team round robin.
There you go.
Wow.
Manfred, listen.
Let's just fucking do it like soccer style, like World Cup. Each division goes round robin. The top 2 teams go into tournament fucking play. They go 15 game. Not even. We'll do it just like soccer. They each play 1 game at home, and you add up the scores from the 2 games. Fuck it.
All right, Manfred, you listen to this show? I hope you are.
Yeah, right. We got to tag him in this.
I don't think he has social media.
Tag him. Tag him. Yeah, this needs to be. The soccer thing is interesting, because they were talking about. Someone mentioned it actually on Twitter. I forget where I saw it, but someone was actually saying about having it almost like the Champions League. Like, I'm not familiar with soccer, Nick. You would know. You know way more than I do, obviously.
Yeah,
but I mean,
fuck
like
soccer.
you would have it where like the bottom 3 teams get knocked down to the below. Like you have like 2 leagues.
Oh, have the relegation system? Oh, that would be amazing.
Exactly. So you have 2 leagues of say 16 teams each
You
league.
bump up. Oh, I
And then
thought
the top
it
3
was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be completely like just bumping up minor league teams and bumping down major league teams. Have 2 teams in the same organization playing in the majors.
No, but you could expand. You could expand to like 40 major league teams and just have like
do 20 and 20.
Relegation and
no divisions, just one big fucking division.
Think about that too. What if you just had 30 teams or 32 teams? Just
in
one big
division?
universal DH. This way you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about interleague. Just 32 teams. The top 10 make it. That's it.
Oh my god.
I mean, but these are the things we start thinking because of like these proposals of different playoff formats and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, whatever. But
Okay, we'll just do it as if baseball was every other sport.
Oh yeah.
Look at it as the basketball format, just straight up top 8 teams in the conference. Fuck what you do in your own division. Doesn't matter. You could win the division and still not make the playoffs. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, this got out of hand.
Oh my god.
Hockey, we'll just split it into the 2 conferences, or each could be 2 divisions now.
That's it.
Top 3 teams in each division makes it, and then 2 wildcard teams.
You want to hear something so stupid? This guy proposed yesterday on Twitter. Like, he said that baseball should have a coin flip to decide who bats first.
Oh, yes. I saw that.
Oh,
I was just like, what?
Like, you do the coin flip, and the winning team gets to choose whether they want to bat first or not. Like, if you really think the home team doesn't want, like, the advantage of batting last, so let's just change it to home team gets to pick whether they bat first or second.
Which is, they're not going to change.
No, they're not going to change.
No, they're not going to change that. Well, you heard the proposal that was going on last year. I think it was actually like Brian Kenny or someone like put this on his show or something. Mm-hmm. That was, to speed up the game or whatever it was, or more exciting. They were talking about like once you get to the 9th inning, you get to pick any part of your lineup to bat.
Oh,
fuck that.
So it doesn't matter if you made the last out the previous inning. Like every 9th inning, the Angels could pick like Trout, Rendon, and Upton to bat or something like that. Like, what?
See, look, we're going back to soccer rules. We're going into a shootout in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
No, just do a home run derby.
Line up in the beginning of the game then. Like
home run derby.
Oh.
Fuck it. After 15 innings, each of you pick a team. Home run derby. Pick a team. Pick a player.
Just pick a whole team. Pick a different team.
Runner on second. That was
pick
another one.
Different team.
Starting the runner on second base in the extra innings. Like every half inning, you start a runner on second.
Yeah.
I don't mind that after, like, if you want to say after like the 13th, like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say you do that 10th inning. But
they did that in the minor leagues last year.
Yeah, they did.
Like, that's some shit when I was playing softball that we did. But
yeah, it's like, all right, let's get this game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pace of play thing.
And I get it. I mean, I understand.
I do, but at the same time, don't put that in the 10th inning. Fuck that.
The pitch clock.
Well, this year they're doing. I mean, what they're doing this year is with the. You have to face 3 batters.
Yeah.
Or finish the inning.
I don't mind that one, really.
I don't really mind it either, to be honest with you.
It somewhat takes away the whole lefty specialist type of thing. In a way, it really depends on where you are in the inning. Like, if you're at 2 outs, like, he could come in for one batter and be done. But
Right.
if he gets the batter, but
It still adds to, it still keeps the strategy alive, and also will in general minimize the pitching changes.
pitchers have to pitch.
Yeah, you're not going to have 3 pitching changes in one inning.
Yeah, I don't completely mind not seeing 6 pitchers coming in an inning.
Yeah, it's gotten out of hand. And now with the expanded roster, too, don't forget. You have 26-man roster. You can still carry only 13 pitchers, though.
Yeah.
Which I find odd. But
Yeah, because of all things, they need the extra batter.
yeah, really. Well, you know what's going to happen now, though? You're going to want that extra batter to be able to pitch.
Yeah, get
you're going to want that
Kevin Plawecki out here.
Yeah, where is Pilecki now? Actually, I just saw him. Where is he?
Wasn't he just sent somewhere?
He's somewhere. He's like a second or third string catcher somewhere. Is it Toronto?
Might be.
He's not great, but I love Plawecki.
Did he go to Toronto? Is he backing up Jansen? I just did catch
Boston Red Sox.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's on the Red Sox. That's right. They don't have Swihart anymore. Or Leone. They're both gone. That's right.
Because last year he was on the Indians.
Yeah. Swihart went to Texas, and Leone. Actually, I think Leone might be in Milwaukee backing up Narvaez, if I'm not mistaken. I forget where he went. But Swihart and Leone are both gone. Yeah, so they need someone backing up Vasquez.
I remember I went to a Mets Nationals game in DC. Maybe 3-4 years ago. Mets were losing like 23-6 or something like that. They brought in Plawecki in like the 8th or 9th inning or something. 1, 2, 3 inning. Fucking ridiculous.
Well, he's got an arm. He's a catcher.
I mean, he wasn't even doing it. It's not like he was doing anything special. They were just popping up. But still, I love when that happens. You bring in the guy that just kind of lobbing the ball over the plate. It's almost like the hitters almost don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, shiny.
Almost like
straight up in the air.
The knuckleball pitchers.
I mean, half of it looks like it's coming in as a knuckleball sometimes, I feel like. Throwing it so slow.
Well, that's why I think that's why Greinke has lasted so long, too. Greinke's turned himself into like a modern day, like Greg Maddux. Obviously not as good. But I'm just saying, the dude throws like 91, where everyone else nowadays throws fucking 98. Like, even the starters are, consistent 95, 96.
Well, that's why Bartolo could come back and still play another 10 years.
Bartolo.
Oh.
Oh, man. Bartolo.
For that reason alone. I'm just waiting for Greinke's 1 EFIS a year, and I'll be happy. And
yeah, I love Greinke. I really do. I love Greinke. He's so odd. He's just like an odd. He's just I don't know.
He's so strange. You just have to love him.
His middle name is Donald.
Zach Donald Greinke.
Remember last year, when the Yankees were gonna play the Astros, and then Yankees Twitter found out that his middle name was Donald. It's this is the chant we're gonna do now to heckle him.
And some of these guys' names are kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I just did the happy birthday to Julio Jones in football. Mm-hmm. Did you know his real name is Quintero?
What?
Yeah. Julio Jones. His real name is Quintoro.
Damn.
I swear, I'm not even kidding.
Where did Julio come from then?
I have no idea. And I can't remember his middle name, but he's got a middle name too. But his first name is Quintoro. What?
Well, my favorite is how we got Quentin Dix.
Yeah.
His name's not but fucking
Oh, you gotta love it.
Cocoa Crisp.
Cocoa Crisp. Milton Bradley. What's his real name?
Pretty sure we had like an episode of this podcast that we did like weird, like the weirdest baseball names, or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something we gotta just jump on. Some weird shit like that. Like just go through all the sports. Like pick come in with like 2 or 3 names of just from like each sport.
Well, not only that too, not only the nicknames or whatever, but people that are like JD or DJ or JT or whatever. Like, what does it stand for? You know what I mean? Like a lot of them are normal. Like I think DJ LeMahieu is like David John LeMahieu or something like that. Like it's normal, like whatever, and people call him DJ. You know, I think JT Realmuto is like John Thomas or something like that. Like some of them are kind of boring, but some of them are kind of weird. Like, you know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head now. But you got some, especially in baseball, man, back in the day, like you talk about like the early, like late 1800s and stuff, you had some weird ass names. Weird ass nicknames too.
The nicknames are the best part. Well, I mean, we got what's it called? BJ Upton. Where the fuck you get BJ from? His name's Melvin.
Yeah, but they called him Boss. That's where BJ came from.
No, but like, you know what I mean? Like fucking name's Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin. Yeah. He changed his name too.
Yeah, he did.
Like back to Melvin or something like that. Like, you know.
When I saw that happen, I was like, is this a new guy? Like I didn't forget that he was like his real name was Melvin.
Yeah. Well, then you have Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, he was Mike Stanton when he first came up.
Yeah.
Now he's Giancarlo. Like, you know.
So strange.
Comeback player of the year this year.
I wouldn't doubt it. Though Stanton's a beast when he's healthy. He's a beast. I mean, even with the first year with the Yankees, even Yankee fans like bashing him and everything. Dude hit 38 home runs and 100 ribbies. Like, were you like, you know, what are you going bashing a guy for?
Yeah. I just, like, as a Yankees fan, I hate, like, a lot of Yankees fans. Just the way they, like, react to players for no reason. Like, they overreact to shit.
Oh, what's it called? Mookie. Mookie's name is Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Marcus, yeah.
Marcus Win Betts and MLB.
Yeah. That's right. Wow.
Rusty cunts.
Rusty cunts. Yeah, that was always a great one. That was always a great one. Bubbles. I always remember Bubbles Hargrave. Like, it's such a manly name. To be called Bubbles? Like, what?
Bubbles.
Or the legendary pitcher, John Glasscock.
Roy Halladay's first name was not Roy. It was Harry.
Really?
Harry Leroy Halladay. He started going by Leroy, which then got shortened to Roy.
Wow.
Dick Pole. That's one. Johnny Dick Shot. Oh my god.
There you go.
Oh shit! There was a guy that was called Budweiser. First name Bud, last name Weiser.
That's all. That is awesome.
Bo Jackson's first name was Vincent.
Yeah, I knew that one. The Budweiser guy, though. I mean,
Budweiser.
Talk about asking for a sponsor. Jeez, if you play nowadays, I'd be like, hello.
His real name was Harry Budson. His middle, like Budson was his middle name. That's, I guess, that's where he got it from.
Bud, yeah.
So, makes sense.
That's crazy.
He was only 5'11".
You know Cy Young's real name?
Denton,
correct.
Yep.
Denton True Young.
Yep. Whitey Ford had a weird name too. It was like Elrod or something like that, or what was Whitey Ford's real name? I'm trying to Elroy or something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head now. I'm blanking on that one. Whitey Ford, like what his real name was.
Shit, I would know too. I forget now.
I can't remember.
Oh, you know what Coco Crisp's real name is? Because it's not Coco.
I knew it one time. I forget now.
Cavelli.
Oh, it's
Cavelli Lois Crisp.
Wow.
oh yeah. Whitey Ford was Edward.
Edward. I knew it was an E. That's right.
Edward Whitey.
Oh, do you know what CC stands for? CC Sabathia?
Charles. It's something Charles.
Yeah, Charles
Carl. It's Carlston.
or Carlton. Yeah.
Yeah, something Carlston Charles or something like
That's
that.
what it was. Carlston Charles. Yeah. Because I'm like, it's not Carlton. It was something kind of strange.
Yeah, Carlston Charles, I believe, is the
Actually,
CC.
I just passed by him in the thing I was looking at. Yeah. Oh, Karsten Charles.
Yeah.
I thought it was Carlston with like an L in between there.
Karsten Charles.
Karsten.
Sebastian Jr.
As big as he is, I call him whatever he wants. I was like, you want to be called CC? No problem, big guy. Good.
Albert Pujols' first name is not Albert.
No.
It is Jose Alberto Pujols. And I don't even think Pujols is actually his last name. Alcantara. He cut out his, the first and last name to make it Albert Pujols.
Wow. Anyway, some of these guys, they just decide to go by another. I guess, it makes sense. I mean, other celebrities do it. Like actors and actresses and musicians. Stuff. Like a lot of them don't regular names.
And there's a lot of other athletes. It's not just baseball.
Oh yeah,
big name people too. I mean, Cy Young. What's it called? Tiger Woods. Tiger's not his first name.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else.
Yeah.
Other people.
I mean, we got Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
The Ocho Cinco. Trying to get it to say Ocho Cinco before that was his real name, so he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just change it." Now you got to put it on there.
Ocho Cinco. Wow.
That was the most just ego type of thing. I wanted to say Ocho Cinco. We're not gonna put it on there. Bet I'm changing my name to Ocho Cinco. Ridiculous.
Well, didn't Ichiro have his first name on the back of his jersey? Wasn't it Ichiro?
It was always Ichiro.
Because I don't think it said Suzuki, right?
As far as I know, it always said Ichiro.
Right. What's his first name? So
yeah, that was
kind of It's like, I'm gonna make the major leagues. So I want John on the back of my jersey.
Oh my god! I want to look at that now.
I think I always said Ichiro. I
think so.
Well, everyone always called him Ichiro too. I mean, no one ever called him Suzuki.
No. It's kind of like with Giannis. Nobody really says his name because it's so hard to say.
Yeah,
well, that one's always hard to say.
Yeah. I feel like not a lot of people call LeBron by his last name either. They're just like LeBron.
Well, his last name's also a
common.
Yeah.
It's a first name too. I went to look up though, athletes who wear their first names on their jerseys, and just so much soccer stuff comes up because soccer, more than anything, is where you see that a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of anyone else that really was like that had their first name on their jersey.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a trivia question for you. That's something I heard a few years ago. I thought it was kind of interesting. Who's the only baseball player to have his birthday on the back of his jersey?
His birthday on the back of his jersey?
Yep.
So does this mean it was his number? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. It was the month and his number. This guy played a little earlier than you guys, but
I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
It's my daughter's birthday too. My youngest. But that's kind of why I remembered it.
Willie Mays.
No, he wasn't born. He's 24. No, close though. It was Carlos May.
I figured it was May. I was going through the months, and I'm like, which one fits as a last name?
Oh, yeah.
It was Carlos May, and I believe when he was on the White Sox, he wore number 17, and that was his birthday, May 17th.
May 17th. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I love sports trivia. That's a strange one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 17th.
That one's out there. I like it. It's something you could kind of like deduct.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because how many last names are months?
Well, yeah. As long as you come to the conclusion that, okay, back of the jersey, that means the name is the month. Like,
right. Yeah, it makes sense. Definitely.
Sports trivia, so much. Just do a podcast of that. Just everyone bring in like 20 questions.
Yeah, right. Dude, trivia podcast.
Just straight up trivia podcast.
I would love that. That's awesome.
Trivial podtar.
I don't know if you guys follow at MLB Random Stats.
Yeah.
Jeremy Frank on there. Oh, yeah, he comes up with some crazy like stats, weird stuff. I love it. Whenever I see something cool from him, like I save it. I like a bunch of his stuff, like bookmark, just because I love that. Because baseball's got some weird, some strange stuff. Mm-hmm. And just when that's the great thing about baseball. Just when you thought you've seen everything in like 150 years of baseball, something will happen. It's like this has never happened, or this hasn't happened since 1878. You know?
Yeah. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You did the one stat. What was it? Well, Spader actually had it. Ryan Spader. Was that Babe Ruth could come back and go 0 for like 1,141 and still have a higher slugging percentage than Barry Bonds?
Ridiculous.
Wow.
It's like, what? Then, of course, you got all the, Twitter people that are morons. Yeah. Bonds face, oh, look what he faced. Like, he faced, garbage men, and he didn't face any minority players. But it's like, all right, fucking dominated. I mean, dude, like, absolutely dominated his era. That's what gets me, too, is that, I'm going to go on another rant, but that's what gets me, too, is, like, people in any sport, when people compare, like, say, Jordan to LeBron, all right, in basketball, or Ruth to Bonds, or whatever it may be, all right, they're like, oh, well, if he played nowadays, he wouldn't do as well because pitchers throw harder. Yeah, but he didn't grow up nowadays. So you can't just take the guy out of the 20s and put him in now. Have him be a 27-year-old now growing up with all this training and everything like that, all this scouting. Do you think Babe Ruth like scouted these pitchers? No, he just went up there and swung a bat. Like there were no pictures or anything like what is he throwing? Like like there was none of that like back then. There was no weight training. There was no. I mean, so that's why I hate the era comparison, because people try to take the player out of a previous era and be like, well, you stuck him in here. Well, you can't just do that.
Well, it's like with like the whole LeBron Jordan thing, and I feel like basketball, we hear it more than anything now. Well, like, he could have played here, or he could have played here. He couldn't have played here. Like, we're throwing people into different eras, and
right. And the argument goes back and forth. But you can't just, you know what it is. If you're going to take a player and put him in a different era, then put him in that era, that whole era. Not just stick the player himself as he is now and put him back in the 20s. I mean, you take Mike Trout right now and put him back in the 20s. Of course, he's going to dominate. Dude would hit 500. But put him back in the era of the 20s when he didn't have any weight training, no scouting, none of that. I mean, think about this. Babe Ruth used a 42-ounce bat. That's actually illegal now. You're not allowed to use a bat that heavy. But I remember it happened. It was like, I was a while ago, because Paul O'Neill actually talked about it from the Yankees. They had something going on that they had a bat that was a replica of what Babe Ruth swung, like the size of his bat. And the guys, and Paul O'Neill talked about it a while ago, like after he retired, when he was in the broadcast, but so like 10 years ago or whatever. And he talked about it. He's like, dude, I couldn't swing the thing. The handle was so thick and it was so damn heavy. He's like, I don't know how the guy like got any kind of bat speed. So think about that too. Think about the bats that are used now. Think about the gloves that are used now. Back then, Babe Ruth didn't wear a helmet. You know what I mean? Like all these different, they took trains. It's not like they flew. They took trains to go to their next like series. All those, all these things you got to add in. You know, that's why I hate the argument for taking players out of different eras, because no one ever adds in those other lifestyle aspects of it.
Oh, when was the first time a team did fly to a game? I was actually just looking up baseball trivia stuff, and that was one of the first questions I saw like 5 minutes ago.
I want to say the 50s. I'm not exactly sure.
1934.
34, really that early?
Cincinnati Reds were the first to ever fly to a game.
They also had the first night game in 1939. Crosley Field.
You guys know, back to the name thing, do you know DeAndre Jordan's real first name?
No, I thought that was his first name.
That's his middle name. His real first name is Highland.
Highland?
Yeah, okay. Highland.
Why wouldn't you keep that? Highland Jordan. That's kind of like, I would have kept it.
Oh, shit, it's the same with Steph Curry. His real first name is Wardle. The hell is that?
Wardle? Yeah, let's see.
Wow. Yeah, that I would have changed. I'm gonna go with that. Although we could have gone with War Curry.
Oh, that would have been pretty awesome.
War Curry.
Or Del Curry. Oh, but that's his father, isn't it? Is his father's name Del?
Oh yeah, I think I just saw it was that his full name is Wardle, the same the same thing. So he just shortened it to Del.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he should have shortened it to War, and then it would be the opposite of his father.
Yeah, War Curry.
Matthew Stafford. Matthew's not his first name.
No,
it's John.
John Matthew.
No.
John Matthew.
Oh.
Eli is really Elijah. It's not like crazy, but he goes by Eli.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton. Nothing to do with T or Y.
No, it does. Oh, I remember looking this up too.
It is.
Oh man, wait, give me 1 second. I remember looking this up. Oh, damn it! All right, go ahead, tell me. I can't remember, but it's T.Y.
Eugene Marquise Hilton.
Yeah, the T.Y. comes from his dad.
Yep, his dad's Tyrone.
Yeah, yeah.
Von Miller's first name is Vonnie.
Uh,
That was a smart shortening of that name. I can't even pronounce his middle name. It's B''V. Both of these capital. B''V' V'', Sean.
Wow.
But Vishon? I can't pronounce it.
Wow.
Cameron Wake is Derek.
That's crazy.
Heath Miller. His first name was Earl. Champ Bailey was Roland.
what the fuck?
Was that?
I thought that was a video of how to pronounce his middle name, and it's just some weird like voice that goes Von Miller.
Von Miller.
What the
Von Miller.
What the fuck you listen? What kind of translator shit do you have on?
Sounds like a joke translation or something. It sounds like a porn site.
You should just go.
Von Miller.
My God. Just type in like B''V Sean and see what like Google like just what pronunciation it gives you.
I don't think anything's gonna come up.
Bavashon. You know Dak Prescott's first name is not Dak.
What is it?
His middle name's Dakota, which is where they get the Dak from.
I think I knew that.
His first name is Rain.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Rayne.
Huh.
I keep seeing the Julio Jones one. Quintoris.
Julio Jones, yeah, Quintoris. Is that his name? Is it Quintoris?
Quintoris Lopez Jones. Here's haha Quentin Dix.
Yeah, all that's coming up for that is how to pronounce Sean.
Speaking of Sean, haha's real first name is Hashawn. HA' Sean.
Wow.
Oh damn.
Some interesting names.
Yeah.
I guess it would just be Bavishon. That's all it is. I don't know.
Bavishon, that's probably it.
Yeah.
And the Islanders win. Yo.
Oh my God.
Actually, I saw this thing. It says that the V is silent, so it's just Bashan.
Bashan. Oh. Okay.
Bashan. Bashaw.